dreamy far-off look and her nose stuck in a book. Oh, hi! Welcome! So I wanted to talk about some fall TV shows that I have been loving that I would love to share with you. So these are spooky shows, but they are family friendly within reason. I would say be a teenager, and not scary because I cannot do horror or like intense, terrifying me. So the first show I wanted to talk about is The Good Witch. So these were originally movies and they would come out like every year, every season for a few years. I think it might have been on Lifetime, and this had the main character who is Cassie Nightingale, and she moves to this town where she comes back to this town that she hasn't been to in a long time. It was originally her family's home, and she gets involved in this town. But she's a little bit spooky, and because her house looks like it's falling apart on the outside, the children in this town have created this like she's a monster type of thing, and when they walk by the house they like run. So this is the movies, right? And there's so many. I think there's definitely a Halloween one, and then there's a Valentine's one, and there's all these different movies. There's like 5. And they were all super cute. But then on Netflix, The Good Witch is a television show. So this still follows her, but it's fast forward to when she now has a daughter, and her daughter might have some spooky abilities, and then she has the Bell Book and Candle shop in this town. She's a very important part of this town, and like everyone goes to her and asks for like, can I have some help with my stress? And she always knows what to give. And it's really cool, and it's just really calming. It's a lot like a Hallmark movie, but it reminds me of Gilmore Girls too. I just really like it. Next we have Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So I watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch when I was little, and I loved it. I watched the animated and the non-animated, and I just remember thinking, oh, this is so cute. She's a witch and she's going to high school and doing the whole thing. But I started Sabrina last year, I think, and I have to say it was spooky. Like I was on like episode 2 and I was home alone and it was dark, and my dog even got scared, and we're like, okay, I'm not watching this alone in the dark. Like I'm gonna have to watch it during the day, and I'm only gonna have to like watch one episode at a time. But it is spooky, and it's like a dark, twisted version, kind of like how Riverdale is, to Sabrina. And I really like those type of things. And I'm excited to continue that show very soon because I'm planning to watch it again for this fall. Next we have Locke Key, and this is on Netflix. Also not sure what I think of this. I like it, but it gives me a little bit of creepy, kind of scary movie vibe. So maybe if you're looking for something a little bit more creepy, then that would probably be a good one for you. I still can picture scenes that have happened. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. Locke and Key is about a spooky house. This single mom moves in with her kids to this house that has been passed down to them for generations, and spooky stuff starts happening, including a well, which if you've seen Scary Movie 3, yeah, a well. And so it's pretty creepy. But I watched this with my friend, and we were kind of like, I don't know if we want to continue because it was pretty intense. But it's a good spooky fall show. Next we have a series of shows, and I will recommend these shows until the lights go out. Like I am so into Vampire Diaries, the originals, and Legacies. Vampire Diaries is my absolute favorite. Okay, so Vampire Diaries is my absolute favorite. We follow Elena, who is a human, and she meets Stefan Salvatore and Damien Salvatore, and they are vampires, and they live in this town, Mystic Falls. And we have Carolyn, who is Elena's friend, and Bonnie, who is Elena's friend, and Matt, who's this cute little innocent human who never knows, always wants to help but never really knows what to do. And it's a really cute show. I'd say it's at least B16. because there's, you know, romance, but it's cute. It's very cute. Then we have the originals, which follows the 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many. It follows the original vampires. So the original vampires are Vampire Diaries world, are the vampires that have created all the other vampires. So we have Elijah Michelson, Klaus Michelson, Rebecca Michelson, Frida, and then there's another guy and I can't remember his name. So they're like the original vampires. Like if they died, everyone would die in their line. And they live in New Orleans, so it's really cool to see New Orleans. Although I think there's vampires now in the New Orleans square. But yeah, it's good. And it does a lot of like time travel back and forth where you're like hearing about their story in the past, and like I always thought that was kind of cool because you learn as it goes. Legacies is the 3rd generation, as I don't want to give it away because you haven't seen Vampire Diaries, but someone gets pregnant and has twins, and then this follows the twins and new characters and their other daughter, new characters that go to a boarding school of vampires, werewolves, witches, and it's like a supernatural boarding school. It's really cool. I'm still watching that on the CW. I just watched it on the CW app. So next we have The Worst Witch. This is on Netflix. This follows our main character who, I think she's like 12, and she finds out she's a witch and she's not good at it at all. Like she tries to fly and she fails, and she tries to spell and she fails. So it's really funny too because you're kind of like laughing with her. But there's a lot of Harry Potter references. Like I don't think they do it on purpose, but like one of the main professors reminds me of Snape, as if Snape was a girl. And then there's like looks like a Dumbledore, and you know, there's just all these different references, which I think is really cool, especially when you can kind of connect it and like, oh, that's awesome. Last we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I am ashamed to say this is my first time watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know. I watched Charmed growing up and I loved it, and I was too scared to watch Supernatural or Angel, I think the next one was, but I just never watched Buffy. And then I started it recently with my friend. We are buddy watching it as if virtually, and it's really fun. It's 90s. It's like just really fun. So Buffy is a high schooler who, like every million years or whatever, they have someone's born that is a vampire slayer. They have strength and some special type of abilities that help them, you know, fight the vampires. So we are, oh my gosh, I only watched 2 episodes. It was like so much stuff has already happened. Like, you know, she's almost died how many times. But it's really good and really cute, and it's great for fall, and it's a long show. So I'm excited to watch that so much and binge it. And yeah, those are all the spooky and fall shows that I would recommend for you to start. I would love to hear your thoughts about them in the comments. And remember, you can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. If you could subscribe, that would be awesome. Okay, thanks. Bye.